Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Our guest host today for On the Edge is Gaynor Meilke. She's a consultant, author of multiple books, and chief opportunity officer at Charisma Inc. That's INK, where she helps her accounting and tax professional clients achieve exceptional growth and market presence. Gaynor is joined by Adam Lean, an entrepreneur and former accountant who is now CEO of the CFO Project, which trains CPAs, accountants, bookkeepers, and other financial professionals on how to build, grow, and scale a business advisory service that gets results. I'm Adam Jankowski with Botkeeper. I'm going to be your moderator for today. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them into the chat. And with that, I will hand it off to Gaynor.
Great. Well, thank you, Adam, and welcome to Adam Lean from the CFO Project. And, you and I are sitting at opposite ends of the temperature spectrum in our respective locations. I'm in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where it's about 5 degrees. And Adam, you're in Florida, right?
Yeah, I'm in Florida, but it's currently 42 degrees, which is about 40 degrees colder than I want it to be.
Yeah, I can imagine. But one area that is not cold is advisory, and especially in the CAS accounting space, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So you're the co-founder of the CFO Project. So why don't we start off with you giving us kind of a high level on what the CFO Project is and how it came to be?
Yeah, so the CFO Project is a mentorship program where we mentor accountants and bookkeepers and tax professionals on how to start offering CFO advisory services. So essentially, we'll train you on our proven system. So we'll give you a system on how to provide these services. We'll train you on it, and we'll show you how to get clients, because none of it matters until you actually can get clients to do this for. And so, we'll show you how to get clients. We'll show you how to upsell existing bookkeeping or tax clients, and then we'll show you how to actually provide a service where you could charge at minimum $1,500 a month or more per client, so that you can make more money in less time or reduce your client load and just have a lot less clients and charge them more. So that's essentially what we do. And the whole program, we call it a Done With You mentorship program, because we're doing it with you. We have a ton of trainers who will come alongside you, people that actually know your name and will help you for a full year. So you'll join this program for a full year, and then during the program, we'll give you all the training and the support and the tools and the resources, all so that you can have a growing and successful practice through CFO services.
Yeah, and that's a great overview. And the reason why I wanted you to give that overview, not as a sales pitch of any kind, but really because you and I have known each other for a few years now, and I've really actually seen this in action. And I think you really are an expert in helping accounting professionals bridge that gap between where they want to be in their practices and the advisory space that everybody's looking towards, knowing that they can scale using technology and then get to advisory and the CFO services. But how do you actually do that? And I think that's where the CFO Project and what you've developed, actually, it's one of the few programs that I've seen where people are like getting real results. Like you were talking about, you have a wins board within the community where people are posting daily, and this is not something that's like one-off success. It's really, you said you've had 800 accountants go through the program, and I think the feedback's been really good. So today we wanted to kind of dive deep and pick your brain a little bit about how do you double your firm's revenue through advisory services, whether you're a member of the CFO Project or not. I mean, obviously you were also doing this work. How long ago was that you were actually doing the work yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it was almost 10 years ago that I started. My co-founder, it was about 40 years ago when he started offering services. And I think that's what makes us unique, in that we approach everything from how does this really work in the real world? Because you could be a CFO for a large company right now. You could be highly educated. You could have all the acronyms after your name, But unless you can actually go to a small business owner, and when I say small business owner, a business doing, between $500,000 and $5 million in annual revenue, which makes up the majority of businesses. When you approach a small business owner, you have to communicate to them in a certain way. You cannot communicate to them in accounting jargon or financial jargon that they don't understand, they don't get it. And then once you land the client, once you get an actual client to become a CFO client, you can't communicate to them on a regular basis like a CFO for a giant company would. You can't just talk about numbers and forecasts and ratio analysis and all those tactical things. You have to communicate to them in a way that they understand, because unless they understand and unless they actually follow your advice, none of this matters. You will fail at being an advisor to a small business owner if you cannot get them, somebody whom you have no control over, to take action. Yeah. And so everything we do is grounded in reality. How does this really work? Our goal is we want to train accountants and bookkeepers and tax professionals to actually give real advice to business owners so they can grow a successful business. And the only definition for successful business, is one is producing positive cash flow on a regular basis. That's it. Every business since the beginning of time would still be in business today if they were able to produce positive cash flow on a consistent basis, right? Mm-hmm. Cash flow literally solves everything. If you have a bad product, well, if you had cash flow, you could afford a better team to come up with a better product or do more marketing to get more of a marketing product fit. If you don't have enough staff or enough good staff, cash will allow you to hire better staff. I mean, if you own a roofing company, you need more trucks or equipment, cash will allow you to do that so you can expand your business. Cash literally solves everything, and that's the definition of success. So that's our goal. We want to train as many accountants and bookkeepers as possible on how to actually get business owners to generate more cash. And in order to do that, we have to communicate to business owners in a way that makes sense.
Right. So as far as a typical CAS accounting firm that's doing more on the monthly accounting side, and they want to get into CFO and advisory services, how many clients do you typically need to make a successful CFO business, would you say?
So we studied this, and the average accounting firm, which is crazy to think about, the average accounting firm makes like $150,000 net, and it's pretty low considering what they do, considering all the expertise that they have. And so the idea is that $150,000 net profit for an accounting firm can be replaced by just a handful of advisory clients. Because think about it, let's say you offer a bookkeeping service right now, you're charging probably anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per month per client, which means to make $150,000 net, you need a significant amount of clients charging $500 to $1,000 a month. Or if you have a tax firm and you're charging $1,000 a year per client, you definitely need a lot of clients in order to make $150,000 net. But with advisory services, you're able to charge more because now you're offering a service that clients actually want. Most business owners would rather the financial professional in their life help them have a better future than just being a recorder of the past.
Mm-hmm. And that's really critical. I know we were talking about that before we got on too, is it's so much more exciting to be talking about the future with your clients and what's possible than shoving them a report.
Right. And they don't care. They don't value looking at the past as much as we think they should, as much as accountants think they should, because the accountants are proud of what they did. Their work product is closed books, is taxes completed and all that, which is needed, of course. I'm not discounting that, but business owners aren't going to pay premium for that. If you charge $800 a month to do books, and somebody else says, I'll do the same thing for $400, why would they stay with you? Because they don't know. They can't. Most people can't judge a good bookkeeper or a good accountant versus a bad bookkeeper, bad accountant. Just like I can't judge whether my dentist is better than the dentist next door. I don't know how to judge that because I'm not a dentist. And so therefore, most accountants, because they're offering a commoditized service where people can't really judge the value, then price dictates how, the lowest price wins. And so in order for you to make more money, in order to answer your question, in order to double your revenue, essentially, you've got to be able to raise your prices. And the only way to raise your prices is to offer a service that you can raise your prices on. And it's not additional tax or bookkeeping, it's advisory, because business owners, their business is the thing that puts food on their family's table. So it has to work. There's no question about that. It has to work. So they don't want to go back and get a job. They want to keep their business in business, and they want to make money doing it. And if you could say, I will help you do that, they'll pay you for that. And so the minimum we recommend you charge is $1,500 a month per client for advisory service, like I mentioned. So if you wanted to, if the average firm is making $150,000, if you want to double, for example, your revenue, $300,000, or double your net, your take home $300,000, then I just have my calculator here. At $1,500 a month times 12 clients, it's $18,000 a year. So that means you need 17 clients. 17 clients to make $300,000 a year compared to 900 tax clients or 15 bookkeeping clients where you're working 60 hours a week. It's as simple as it gets.
So are you proposing then, really it would be a subscription model that people are going to be promoting to CFO clients?
Yeah. So we've got to make this incredibly easy for business owners to understand, because I can tell you what they don't understand. They don't understand what a CFO is, nor do they think they need one. Somebody that owns a $5 million construction company does not think they need a CFO. They think Coca-Cola needs a CFO. I'm too small to have a CFO. Plus, they think the CFO is essentially the head accountant. And I say, oh, I already have a bookkeeper. I don't need a CFO. So we have to reframe in the minds of business owners what a CFO will do for them. And so we've got to make it incredibly easy for them to understand. So we propose that you say, look, I'm going to help you have a growing, successful business. I'm going to analyze your numbers every month, and I'm going to come to you and tell you exactly what to do to ensure that you have a growing, successful business that's defined as more cash flow and more profit. I'm going to do that every single month, and I just charge a flat fee of $2,000, for example. That's the average that our members are charging right now. It's $2,000. We just conducted a survey on that. $2,000 a month, and that's it. If I'm not helping you make at least $2,000 in additional cash flow every month, then I will fire myself. I've said that for the past decade to every single client that I've sold for my CFO firm, because it's true. Why? If my mission is to help a business owner increase cash, why? And $2,000 a month times 12 is $24,000. If I'm not helping them make at least $24,000 covering my fee, why am I even in business? So it's a true statement. Yeah, I would fire myself, and obviously I've never had to fire myself, because what we do is actually works. It actually helps business owners make money. So that's what we recommend that you offer to your clients is a flat monthly fee. It's just sort of, yes, it's a subscription service in a sense. You wouldn't call it that. It would just be a $2,000 a month. This is what I'll do. I'm going to guarantee that I'm going to ensure that I make at least 2,000 more, but I'm not even worried about the 2,000. My goal is to help you make a lot more. But we also have to remember, we have to put ourselves in our prospects' shoes, the average business owner's shoes. When they're listening to this, we don't want them to focus on the tactics of what a CFO does. We don't want them to hear, oh, this guy's just going to go through numbers every month.
Yeah.
What we want them to hear is, I'm going to have a peace of mind because now a numbers person is coming alongside me and helping me run my business. Because whether business owners will admit it or not, they are very insecure when it comes to numbers and financials and accounting. They just don't get it. They know they need to know their numbers, but think about it. Somebody that starts a roofing company, they started a roofing company because they are a roofer. They're a tradesperson. That's
Right.
why they started their business. They are experts at roofing or construction or whatever. And they just happen to be good at sales and marketing, and they were trustworthy, and they got clients, and they hired their first employee, and 5 years later, they have a business. Doesn't mean they automatically, because they have a business, they understand what the balance sheet means or understand how to improve cash flow. And so when somebody comes along and says, I'm going to help you stay in business and monitor your numbers on your behalf and help you grow so that you can hire more people or expand or go on vacation or whatever, they're going to pay attention to that.
Yeah, and I know there's a statistic that I've used multiple times. It came from Wasp Barcode Company, and it's over 60% of small businesses want their accountants to be an advisor, but they're not getting that information. They don't feel that they are. So
Right.
there should not be any hesitation in, well, do my clients really want this? I bet your existing clients are hoping for it too. They just don't know what to call it. And as you said, we're reframing the conversation about what the outcome is for the business owner as opposed to the tactical services that people can provide. So in terms of communicating that value, I mean, do you have any like specific steps or advice on that? Because I think that's an area where a lot of accounting firms struggle is, the client doesn't really understand what the value is. Should they be like providing case studies of other clients that they've helped, or like projections on a client's numbers and say, hey, if we were working together as a CFO, I'd be able to do X, Y, and Z with these numbers and help you achieve this? Like, how exactly do you communicate that value?
Yeah, the answer is actually surprisingly simple. It's you form a relationship with a prospect and get them to understand how much you care about them. Coincidentally, how do you find somebody to marry? You form a relationship with them and get them to understand that you care and like them. Same thing. If you're dating somebody, if you want to marry somebody, you see somebody you would like to marry one day, you ask them on a date, you go to the date, and what you don't do with the date is talk all about yourself, all about your credentials, all about your past successes. No, because you would be a moron to do that. The date would leave and never speak to you again. What you do instead is you ask your date all about themselves, and you form some sort of a bond. You talk about common ground. Ask them about what they want in the future. You get them to feel is an emotional word, like you care about them. That is what's going to get you a second date. Same exact thing with business owners. You cannot approach a business owner from what we call an accountant standpoint. You can't a business owner being a human doesn't really communicate well with accountants who speak accounting. An accountant has to be able to speak like a human to other humans. We have to remember, all of us in the accounting profession, whether we're bookkeepers, enrolled agents, CPAs, it doesn't matter. We speak a language that 99% of the world does not speak. Business owners don't speak debits and credits and balance sheets and ratio analysis and forecast and P&Ls and month-end closes and quick books and all that. Yeah, they don't. They speak in terms of am I going to be able to pay the bills next month? Can I buy this truck? Can I hire this employee? Can I buy more inventory? Can I go on vacation without my business falling apart? Those are things that they care about. And so when we build relationships with people, these business owners, we've got to speak in language of that they care about. What do you want for your business? Like, I remember one day, this is like 8 years ago, I was talking to a prospect who owned a hair salon, and she just bought this hair salon from her. She rented a booth, and then she bought the actual whole hair salon. So this lady was definitely a crafts person. She was a hairstylist, not an entrepreneur, right? But she just bought that place because she was offered it, and she's like, yeah, I'd love it. Anyways, so I asked her, what would you like? What do you think would make this place better? What are your goals for this business? And I'm thinking she would say something like, well, I would like to increase revenue by X amount, or I'd like to be able to hire 5 more people. No, she told me that what she thinks would make this business better is if she had new salon chairs.
Okay, there you go.
That, whether that's true or not, that's what she cared about. Because she approached things from a tactical standpoint, she was proud of her craft. Having better salon chairs would make her craft feel better, because that's what she is displaying to the world, her craft. Whether or not that had mattered, it kept the business in business, it almost didn't matter, but she didn't care about that. So I could not, my next words to her could not be anything related to accounting, because she doesn't care about it. Remember, my goal is to get her to hire me so that I can help her with her business. So I have to build a relationship with her to get her to hire me, so that later I could get her to do the things that I think she needs to do to have a successful business, as we all know is defined as cash flow. So relationship building.
So let's drill down just a little bit to how we can actually go from the tactical accounting services to CFO using, you've got 3 different types of advisory service models that you've seen be successful with accounting firms. Can you kind of give us a high level on those 3?
Yeah, so accounting firms and bookkeeping firms that offer CFO services usually do it in one of 3 ways. So the first way is essentially an existing accounting firm or bookkeeping firm, it doesn't matter, an existing firm will offer CFO advisory services in addition to all their other services. So they'll say, well, for bookkeeping, tax, and advisory services, and then they'll try to sell every client on all 3. Or they'll get a bookkeeping client in and sell them to, upsell them to CFO services. That's model number 1, which works perfectly. You can have one client and do everything for them, bookkeeping, taxes, and advisory. But another model we've seen worked, and we teach all 3 of these models, by the way. The second model we've seen work really well is, instead of going to the already crowded marketplace and saying, I could do your books better, faster, and cheaper, or I could do your taxes better, faster, and cheaper, which doesn't land, that message doesn't land with anybody, but that's what everybody's doing. Instead of doing that, you go to the marketplace and saying, I will help you have a growing, successful business by being your CFO. And then you get CFO clients in the door, and then cross-sell them bookkeeping and tax services. So you get them in the door selling what they want, and then say, by the way, do you want me to just, I will definitely help you have a growing, successful business, but do you want me to also just do your books and taxes, just have everything in one place? Most people will say yes to that. Now all of a sudden you have a very high valued client. Instead of having a bunch of $400 a month clients, you're having a handful of $2,000 or $3,000 a month clients. The third model, which is actually the model that I adopted when I started my CFO firm, is to not do books, to not do taxes, and become a highly sought after CFO advisor. You go to the marketplace and say, look, I'll help you find an accountant if you need an accountant, or a bookkeeper if you need one, but my entire focus is to help you have a growing, successful business. So I will be your go-to guide with everything related to accounting. Related to having a growing, successful business. And I call what I do a CFO service, because the CFO of Coca-Cola today's job is to make sure Coca-Cola stays in business to make more money. That's what I'm going to do for you. Do you want that? And of course, who's going to say no to that? So those are the three models. So if you currently offer bookkeeping or tax services, you don't have to abandon it. But I can tell you though, you'll make way more money if you offer CFO services. And if you go to the marketplace with CFO services instead of bookkeeping and tax, you'll find that it's a lot less crowded, and you'll get a better response because there are business owners resonate more with CFO advisory. They want a better future more than just a better past recorded.
So if somebody wants to get started today, they're in their firm, maybe they're not ready to go to the CFO project yet, but they've been wanting to do this for a while, but they're not really sure like how to have that first conversation, probably with one of their existing clients about, we've been doing your, accounting, maybe even doing your tax as well for, a few years now. We can also do the advisory piece. I mean, do you have any advice for people who just want to like test the waters on this?
Yeah, so I mean, the easiest thing to do is just ask your clients, would you like help would you like advice? Instead of me meeting with you on a monthly basis about the past, would you like me to show you what needs to happen to have a better future, to make sure you have plenty of cash flow? And just see what they say. Most people, if not all of them, will say, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, they're thinking, well, that's what I wanted you to do all along. The second thing you could do is we have a bunch of free trainings on the CFOproject.com, CFOproject.com, bunch of free trainings to see if this is even right for you, because it may not be right for you. And so we just have a bunch of free trainings, and usually our trainings are between 30 minutes and 60 minutes. Just take the trainings and see if there's, obviously they're free. So take the trainings and see if you think this is right for you. We clearly break down what a CFO advisory service entails, and we'll show you exactly if you're qualified and how to become qualified if you're not qualified. So we make it very simple.
And I think that's, we're almost at time, so I just wanted to kind of wrap up. And obviously, if there's questions, Adam or I, you can contact us. Botkeeper will give you the contact information. But really, it is as simple as having conversations, just as you would. I mean, as you said, use the dating or marriage analogy. I mean, we all want clients who are long-term clients, and advisory really is the key to that. And you're probably, a lot of firm owners doing some of this already, but you're not getting paid for it. So it's really about thinking through that high value that you're probably already offering, or you're doing the work behind the scenes, thinking about it, making points as you're presenting financials to clients. Now's the time to turn it into a marketable service and elevate yourself out of what Adam calls the accountant's trap. So I think that's definitely something to consider as you head into 2025 and beyond. And Adam, do you have any kind of final thoughts just on, really the mindset? I know you spend quite a bit of time in the CFO project helping accountants get to the mindset where they are very confident in even letting go of the accounting and bookkeeping services if that's what they want, and just being advisors.
Yeah. I would say the final thought is I guarantee there's somebody listening right now that thinks there's no way that I could become a CFO because I'm not qualified. But I will tell you this. Could you be the CFO tomorrow for Microsoft? Probably not. But could you be the CFO for a $4 million heating and air business? Absolutely, all day long. As long as you have some training and some know-how on how to do it. Why? Because Microsoft CFO requires a lot different skill set, and the job entails completely different than what the job entails for a small business. Completely different. And if you can help a small business owner understand how to have more cash flow and increase their profit and give them advice on a regular basis, which you absolutely could with some training, that is what you absolutely can be the CFO for a small business. So you
Absolutely.
will be qualified.
Yeah. And we see it all day long. I mean, I know just working with a lot of different firms, it's completely possible and much needed. So if you take anything away from this conversation with Adam, is take some of the CFO Project free trainings. You'll start to see how to systematize this, and then don't be afraid to have those conversations with your own clients. And if you don't want to actually put the words out there yet, you could send them an email and just say, these are some additional thoughts around services that we could offer your business, and you'd probably be very surprised how quickly you'll get traction.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you, Adam. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.